Act 2013 and internal audit. Subject is too vast, time is too less, and we were waiting for Mr. Ram Mohan Dave, who is going to deal with IFRS. When we talk nation building and make in India brand, rightly stated in the morning, the object of Prime Minister, object of Honorable Prime Minister is Make in India brand was majorly to ensure, promote manufacturing sector in competitive world. Reason is, as we talk about the comparison of China, and we say China is going to be superpower, there are plus and minus of Chinese economy, and India is having the highest population of youngest India, young children, young people, English speaking students, English speaking youth having the age group more than 50%. More than 50% population is less than 35 and English speaking, apart from that literacy level we talk about. But there is a energy, lot of energy and lot of synergy to promote the manufacturing sector where lot of employment can be created. Now when we talk Make in India, it talks about on the 15th August, Honorable Prime Minister has talked in his speech, saying that investment, foreign direct investment has to come in. You promote, you bring the technology, we have the innovative young minds, we have the energetic young people. We promote manufacturing sector at an optimal cost, lowest cost, and be a world leader. And that is the reason when he went to first Japan, thereafter to the US and now in the Australia, he has invited lot of FDIs and good results are expected to come. The second is, if you see in the lecture which he has given in the when Lok Sabha elections were on, he talked about we don't want scam India, we want skill India. And that is the reason he said create skill India, lot of skills are to be developed. Lots of manufacturing sectors and those skills has to be deployed in manufacturing sector. Innovate. There is absolutely in agreement and there is no disagreement in the world that major innovative, whatever has happened across in the world, it was of the Indian blood which has contributed, whether is the innovation might have taken in US, innovation might have taken in Europe or anywhere. So that is the synergy which we need to bring in the United India, and that was the objective in Make in India. When we talk about the strengthening in the manufacturing sector, essence is cost effectiveness. Now I am not going to talk on the building of the costing system. I am not going to talk about what type of costing system we should build. I am also not going to talk about what you are already aware of, the analysis of activity-based costing, cost reduction tools, value engineering tools. The cost effectiveness will come on the type of we talk now of the target costing. A target costing majorly talks about at what price, what good you want, and I will start even designing of the product and making a process to make that manufacturing, that product make and sell. That is the time which we talk on, and until the cost effectiveness is brought in, until all types of techniques, whether it's the activity-based costing, whether it's the value engineering techniques, or whatever the name we are talking today, until that is brought in, until that we talk about the cost audit in performance appraisals. If in realistic sense, industry also takes it, and cost accountants also contributes to that, I think there cannot be a single opposition from the industry or any person. Neither you will be talking about what is the rate to be quoted. time which we are criticizing in our internal forum, that is, oh, what is the cost audit fees and all, why he is putting it so low and so less. When industry talks about and demand performance analysis, provides you all the things and you do it, maybe first time your fees may be lower, but after that industry is going to welcome you with the absolutely red carpet, not red tapeism. And that is a real contribution of a costing system or a cost audit mechanism or any types of assignment in whatever name you call it. Whether you call yourself management consultant and work in that, whether you are the cost auditor, whether you are the cost consultant or management consultant. But in the effectiveness, when the cost effectiveness is wrong, now cost effectiveness, gone are the days of the cost compilation. Now developing a costing module in the SAP or developing a costing module in any of the ERP package in one-time assignment and then continuous improvement thereon. That is again the continuous assignment on the retrospective basis. But cost compilation is not the job of a cost accountant nowadays. Setting up the costing system so that in controlled environment, cost compilation is done. What is more important and what is more important to focus as a cost accountant is how I interpret my costing data. When I see, I was just when some of the cost audit reports when we see, even though cost product group, we always say product group से उसको क्या मिलने वाला है? Because in the product group, if you talk on the costing of the abbreviation of average cost statement of part 5, that is the file number of part 2 annexure 5. Then a realistic sense you don't get head and tail of that, but in really if you open the eyes of a cost accountant and then see as a product group how it varies and how comparison goes, whether you don't go in the that, but even the pathological test you can carry from the even average cost statement. The eyes which we need to develop as a cost accountant is a bird eye view or eagle's eye view, where we know where the cost and wasted resources are. Now, until whether the material we talk on, whether that was the only right material to be used, whether alternative materials also can be there where I can reduce the cost and keeping the same value of the product. When I talk about the value of product, it's not the only cost and value, it's the utility value. We talk about all value engineering, utility value, esteem value and so on and so forth. So cost effectiveness has to be built in our performance appraisal system, whether the cost audit is compulsory or otherwise. As any analysis, that is must. Cost reduction technique, value engineering technique which we talk on, optimum utilization of resources. Whether how I calculate my labor efficiency, how I calculate my productivity of indirect manpower. Why indirect manpower? Because indirect manpower is only the addition of overheads. Though it is a must, but whether I can reduce it. How I measure my productivity of my managers or my productivity of vice president also. The question comes is whether the KRA is in belt, whether KRA is made and always upgraded, and whether KRAs are monitored. And once that type of system is there, whether you call budgetary system, whether you talk KRA, whether you talk in any name, that is the must. As in morning we were talking about the SME sector. Yes, SME sectors contribute the 80% of the GDP. Now that SME sector, if we do the analysis, is the chicken first and egg first is the story. Until he employs effective, efficient eyes of a cost accountant, he really don't know where to go about. And at that time, he is not able to see that the fruits and utility of that for at least some period, and therefore he compares with as a cost of the cost accountant or cost of a management consultant. Perhaps you can start as a SME sector, as if suppose that MOU is signed tomorrow of SME sector, and all chapters 3 shift working we are going to have it, this one. I think we will have the great opportunity to understand how the small entrepreneurs, how the medium entrepreneurs is master of all, jack of all, but how we can make him master of all with our own eyes. How we can do it? And if that type of things are concerned and if that type of things are taken, then even today, in spite of our CMA, we could see that our even the minister talks and compared we are CAs. He talked about CA, though he wanted to talk about CMA. That is the general perception, and therefore every person in this field is taught CA, whether he is a CMA or CS or any other thing. People in the mass do not know, and so they always talk CA. It's not a question, it's a question of perseverance. How we mass is known to us. When through SME sector and through MSME, when we talk on that and we make them cost effective, we do the cost of manufacturing efficiencies we can bring in. As a health center, as a health center, then perhaps the mass movement also knows the small entrepreneur, small SSI unit, small job worker, or any person knows utility value of cost accountant, and then he definitely talks to you as a management accountant and not a CA. That type of thing, which generally we hear CA, will hear management accountant. And perhaps that is the job of ours as an individual when we go and we work and interface with them. That is the role perhaps we have to do it, and that is what is the manufacturing sector we have to promote in. Role of a CMA in strengthening in manufacturing sector. I am not going to talk on the thing which you are already aware. Everything as such we have learned, we are practicing only, but we are debating when it comes to the fees or cost audit, and we compare with the fees and time put into that. Perhaps sometimes we overlook and we contribute to that. The client is permanently of yours. No office bearer or no any person can influence with the low fees also, and your fees will not be compared. Your fees will be compared with what he gets. And perhaps that type of thing we need to make a change. I am just running it, region is. Now I will come on the role of a cost accountant in the Companies Act 2013, because I am seeing my great friend Mr. Rammohan is seeing with me and seeing the watch also. So I will not definitely eat away his time. I will give him more time because it is his mother chapter, he has founded it. So sir, I will not take your time more. As far as Companies Act 2013 are concerned, let us see what are the exclusive areas. For statutory audit, section 139 talks about chartered accountant. Statutory cost audit, section 148 talks about cost CMA, that is the cost accountants. Section 92 talks about annual return certification, that is the practicing company secretary. Section 204 talks about secretarial audit, which is called the practicing company secretary. And internal audit, with section 138 talks about cost accountant and cost and management accountant. Now the internal audit, perhaps this is a very important. First time we have got official recognition, statutory recognition by the though cost accountants were in corporate sector, there are a lot of given the contribution through internal audit. And perhaps that might be the only reason, because our 80% cost accountants are working in industry. They have seen, they have not only worked in the costing department, they have not only worked in the finance department, they have not worked only in the ED, that is the computerization or ERP systems, but they were associated with the number of cost accountants are working in internal audit, and perhaps their contribution has made government to change it to incorporate internal audit in the Companies Act as a cost accountant. They are well qualified to do it. If you see, these are the exclusive areas identified in the sections with respect to particular your membership. Membership of a CA, membership of a CS, or membership of a CMA. Except that, what are the areas for professionals? When I talk professionals, who has got acquainted with the professional degree, who is updated with the professional knowledge of the degree required for the degree, who has acquired the professional eyes, who has acquired the professional skills. Various corporate actions, mediation and conciliation, nowadays arbitration. Highest fees what we get is in arbitration and conciliations. And these area you are well recognized. All professionals are well recognized. Acting as a liquidator or assist as a liquidator. I don't think anybody can get any less amount into that. Why? Now if you see the liquidator appointment, I remember when the Companies Act 1956 used to be there, that time lot of these jobs has gone to the military people. And those used to be appointed, or whosoever is very close to the CLP, they used to get it appointed in liquidator. And what liquidator used to do it, he used to really liquidate the company where we have an asset and build his own asset, or otherwise, and then whatever was left, that was liquidated by way of official liquidation process. Here is the area for all the professionals of official liquidators, and what you need to do is, with the anywhere liquidation process goes on, you can be appointed as official liquidation through the company law board or even the High Court. Now I will not say about the act. What you need to approach is the NCLT. Advice on the corporate governance. We are talking about the Modi's, this one is maximum governance and less government. Now when we talk maximum governance, is not only he talking about the government per se. When we talk governance internally in the company, we talk about the management. Governance starts within the company, which we call management, and when we talk government, we talk about this, the maximum. All has to be based on the system base. System controls has to be there. Even all, if you see the all state governments or central government has been now connected, and interface has been totally left out. It is only the desk online applications. Whether you take VAT, whether you take CST, whether you take excise, whether you take sales tax, or whether you take the forthcoming GST. Everything is on online, including payment thereof, including the returns thereof. Now what you need to do is update yourself. There is no need, and therefore in that governance, analysis of that database. When we talk corporate governance, there are two things: statutory compliance. I can tell you, as a manufacturing sector, if you are in the manufacturing sector, including central government laws, state government laws, whether it's the fiscal laws or the labor laws, there are 61 laws which he has to follow. And there are around 50 annual returns he has to do it, and there are certain quarterly returns. Now in the Companies Act 2013, independent role of the independent directors and the penalty on the independent directors has been made very. So in every quarterly meeting, what company requires is the statutory compliance by the independent person. We are associated with number of corporates where we give this report on the quarterly basis before the board meeting, stating that we have seen all those things. Rather we give SMS. The SMS we give that this is the due date of the filing, 5 days before. After that, on the system he has to report he has filed. If it has not been filed prior to 2 days, it goes to his boss. And after that, if he has not updated that he has filed online, then it is immediately referred to the board independent directors. Such type of services are required by all the companies. Because the laws has been made stringent. If you take a fiscal laws, prosecutions has been made. If more than 50 lakhs is the non-bailable. If you take any law, you want to be talking about the Legal Metrology Act, these are non-variable. If you talk on the money laundering now, which is going to be very highly checked, earlier the systems were not in place. So every person wants, even the unintentional errors can cause a hardship. Companies will be in the trouble. Companies have started getting notices also from the Companies Act when you are not filing it. Or the CNSS scheme was only last announced and that was postponed up to 31st December. You assume when everything will be online, database is available with the nodal agency and that data is shared with the all ministries, central and state. And if you are not compliant and if you are blacklisted for all. And once you are blacklisted for a purpose, you can be always on the check or vigil list, and again other investigations will come in. And therefore corporate governance is going to be a very vast area for the professionals. Registered valuers. Now I am not going to touch upon the area, but rather I am also going to eagerly wait for the knowledge which I will get from the IFRS. IFRS, as has been already stated in the budget by the Arun Jaitley ji, that 16-17 is going to be mandatory, 15-16 is going to be voluntary. And 1 year time has been given, and what is in the IFRS majorly is the reporting system is the latest valuation, whether it's the valuation of your assets, valuable of your current assets, valuable of your debtors, valuation of your creditors. All that is going to be coming in. So, who is the most competent authority? Even by the way of a syllabus, if you see it, I don't think cost and management accountant can be compared with anybody. Even in the personal way, even my company, I am chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, and such type of assignment when it comes to the valuation, even the preference by my other, even those, my JMD or others who are not cost accountant, they always give such assignment to the cost accountant, because that is everybody wants the proven expertise. And when the proven expertise is to the cost accountant, the valuation is very, very high. It is not only a valuation of claims, it is not only a valuation when loss arises for the insurance, it is all going to be a valuation for all time purposes. And especially when the IFRS comes, it is a quarterly. It is not only half yearly or this, because you have to report the results in accordance with the SEBI. All company CLD matters will come. Pre-certification of e-forms, electronic forms, which is made mandatory by the chartered accountant, cost accountant and company secretary. Compounding of offences itself is a very big job. Whether you take any law, even the labor law, there is a provision of compounding. You take any law, whether the fiscal, there is a compounding, and if it happens there is the errors, you go there, so that at least there is no prosecutions and there are no penalties and all this. And even the compounding work is going to be a very vast work for the professionals. Approvals under the Act. Now you take everything in the GST. What is going to go out is the exemptions. Means in the era of the GST, there will be hardly any exemptions left for. But for promoting the industry, for promoting the schemes and promoting to the sectors, focus sectors, what will be required to grant you software assistance? So government is going to come with lot of schemes, so thereby refunds and rebates will be there. There are the exports, on that today is lot of exemption schemes which will be there. Instead of those exemptions, you will say you will get the refunds and all that refund work. A, application making of the refund in the rightful manner, not losing any single amount of the refund, making an application with the requisite expertise, and filing on the online refund claim and follow up of that. Even the smallest person who doesn't have full knowledge of that and particular law, he can enter into this refund and rebate. So all professionals, the young cost accountants, young professionals also can get a lot of work into that. Let's talk on the various, this one, advisory and consultancy services, fresh issue of shares and other securities including debentures, fund mobilization exercise, how I mobilize the fund, what type of securities I can offer, I can get it. What are the controls of the SEBI? How are the controls whether I will fall in an NBFC or not? Now if you know, directors means funding, intercompany funding, Companies Act is going to be very stern. Rise, bonus, ESOP, split, you can be strategizing this. Rather, transfers of shares, transmission, compromises and arrangement including restructuring and rehabilitation in the mergers and acquisitions of small companies into big one, or start with acquisition of the companies in the third countries. Lot of companies are acquiring, international laws are available, you can be well acquainted with sitting in India, not going to the abroad, interpret it, and even you make a database. I'll just tell you my example. One company wanted some rate of duty structure of 3 different countries and approached us and they said, "हमको immediate चाहिए and because and whether FTAs is there, that is free trade agreements are there or not, and all that you give the opinion." Now, it's not that we are very expert in international taxation or international import duties what are available. But you should have the skills to go and search the database which is available in the small box. You earlier called idiot box, now it is habituated box, addicted box. Whether in your mobile, all internet is available. And all duty rates including FTA agreement, I could get it there and who did it my job. Neither even I spend my time. My person who is intermediate cost accountant has searched it within 2 hours and he said, "Sir, these are the duty structure in Indonesia, this is the duty structure in Thailand, this is the duty structure in Brazil, and this area, this product is covered under this FTA agreement of so and so and notification number so and so." Intermediate cost accountant who is having with me only 1 year's experience. If he can do it, and the fees charged for that opinion was 25,000. I don't think we need a cost compliance to do it and get 5,000 and 10,000 for that. What we need is the open eyes. What we need is the approach. When we talk about the mediation and conciliation panel, you can be a panelist under section 442. If you see the draft rule is also made, para 28.2. Professionals with 15 years experience is eligible for being in panel. So this was senior cost accountants. Reference to the panel either by parties to any proceedings, tribunal or appellate tribunal. Mediator and conciliations are attempt to facilitate the voluntary resolution in disputes. Maximum period of settlement is 90 days with provisions of extension of 30 days. Now you take a case, a matter came to your conciliation. You are appointed as a mediator or conciliator. Even the cost audit appointment is within 180 days, and after that he gives you accounts after 180 days of the year. So what is the period of 1 year? It goes on, and in that you get one audit fee. But here in the conciliation of so many issues which will come, in 90 days you can get more fees than that of any cost audit or anything. Maximum sections have been notified, rules are going to get notified very soon. Now you take again the consultancy of conduct of meeting board. Now how many companies have offered a retainership basis, a small, very small practitioner, or even the young practitioners who have got entered in the practice of the cost accountant, he can say, "Sir, you don't bother. On quarterly basis, your board meetings will be conducted, board meetings will be recorded. All the statutory, whatever the compliances are there, whatever the forms are there, every form is online. All the forms for requisite companies, if you can fill it online, what nobody in the private limited company nowadays, making in a company or making in a LLP, how many companies are there and how many LLPs are there? Let us say how many private limited companies are there. At least in one business of a one entrepreneur, there is minimum one private limited company, and it is a minimum. If anything other is somebody will be saying investing company, somebody will add, so 5-6 companies will be there. And if you are a retainer of doing that business, even that a small retainership fee. Let us say you are talking about 5,000 rupees a month. 12 companies getting in a smaller area is a very 60,000 rupees. Not bad for a small immediate practicing cost accountant. Procedure for the compliance of management services. You are registered valuer under section 247 chapter 12. All valuation under the act by the registered valuation. I am not talking about the valuation of Central Exchange Act. I am not talking about the valuation under section 14. I am also not talking about the valuation when it is you are purchasing the goods from the related party under the SVB. I am not talking under section 92 of the Income Tax Act. I am talking about the valuation which is required under the Companies Act by the registered valuer. And now when IFRS is going to be on, you can definitely see how valuation is going to be a talk of the town and milking cow. I will tell you, any registered valuation will be having a milking cow every day. Every day you will get the eggs and chicken. Valuer will be appointed by the audit committee. So once you are registered valuer, audit committee is going to be appointed. In any way, audit committee used to appoint you as a cost auditor. Valuer to conduct the valuation in accordance with the rules. Valuer of exercise due diligence and make an impartial, true and fair valuations. Valuer prohibited for undertaking valuation of any asset where he has direct or indirect interest, and penal provisions are there. Who can be a registered valuer? Chartered accountant, company secretary and CMA, or any other equivalent Indian and foreign qualification as may be recognized by MCA. So far MCA has recognized only 3. Because Institute of Valuation is going to take place, and thereafter CS, CMA is having those valuation course completed, they also will be given they will be registered, and then that time rule will be notified. But till that time, rule doesn't come in existence, valuation board doesn't come in existence. Chartered accountant, cost accountant and company secretaries are registered, can register as a valuation, can be appointed as a valuation under the Companies Act. SEBI registered merchant banker, member of Institute of Engineers of Whole-Time Practice, architects of Whole-Time Practice, person or entity possessing necessary competence and qualification, and 5 years continuous experience. So minimum 5 years experience has to be there. I will not take more time in the registered valuation. Now you see this. Company's registration office and fees rules stipulates 21 e-forms required for pre-certification of CA, CS and CA. It is mandatory for all except for small companies and OPC. Hardly there are small companies and OPC. We are talking about so many private limited companies which is not small, which is not OPC. 2 e-forms pre-certified optionally by CA, CMAs and CAs. Pre-certification of DPT 3 by auditors, MGT 10 by practicing company secretary and AOC 4 by chartered accountant. And please note this circular number 10 is very clearly stipulates what are your roles and responsibilities when you are doing certification. And actions are being taken on some of the professionals. I have seen some of my friends, co-professionals have got notices where the forms which was certified was not matching with the actuals. Any opportunities will come with the roles and responsibilities. We need to have the due diligence in carrying of those roles and necessities. And it is all the institute, even our Institute of Cost Accountant is coming on the guidelines. When you are certifying this, what you need to check. That is a checklist which we are going to provide. Penal provisions are also there on professionals. Please note that. Section 447 talks about punishment for fraud. Section 448 talks about punishment for false statement. This is for professionals. Huh? Section 449 talks about false evidence. And section 450 talks about punishment when no specific penalty or punishment is specified, but you have certified something else. Beyond Company Act, what are the availability for us as professionals? SEBI regulations and listing agreements. FEMA. People I find, very few chartered accountants are there in this field of FEMA. Very few cost accountants are there in the field of FEMA. Very few chartered accountants are there in the treasury management. You will be surprised. In the foreign exchange, treasury management, risk management, derivatives, very few chartered accountants are there, very few cost accountants. I don't know. Even I'll tell you, we are conducting the treasury audits, stating that what was the rate at that time when the bank, what bankers has given you. What is the risk you are carrying in? Whether you are going to keep in the money in the FCAs, which type of ECBs you should talk in, what types of deferred payment you should negotiate in, lot of, and with the small studies and everything study, you need not have the books. Is all, you please go to the master circulars and get updated on foreign exchange, the daily rates which is going on, and just do that. Habituate for 1 month, you will be a really good one in the treasury management. Transfer pricing, now that is the days which we talk on the domestic transfer pricing. Transfer pricing we say is the domain of CMA. How many CMAs are really practicing in the transfer pricing? Very few. I have seen cost audit reports where all that transfer pricing has been done in the financial audit in the section 92, adopting TNM, that is transaction net margin method. And we have quoted the same in the cost audit report where what is the TNMM in the costing, any guidelines, TNMM is not recognized. But without knowing the fallacy what we are doing, such type of casualness perhaps cost accountant has to forget. Foreign Contributions and Regulations Act, NBFC and competition. I'll tell you, these are the niche field where you can get a very high value for your time. In the horizon which is coming is the IFRS. I will not encroach upon and show my ignorance in front of Mr. Mohan that what I am talking on IFRS. But direct tax code, if you see the accountant definition has been already there, and that draft which has been put has been accepted, and it is going to be put in the winter session for this one, and in the budget session of next year, ETC is going to be seeing the light. So direct tax code where the accountant definition includes cost accountant, you see when tax audit report you can do it. Now, mass avenue is going to be available with you. How many of us, now have you seen the direct, even the new tax audit form? In new tax audit form, even your cost audit details and your observations are recorded in the tax audit form. Your excise audit, your service tax audit, or any type of such observations of yours in any audit report has been mentioned in the tax audit form. And when you are going to do it, you have to be acquainted with all the provisions of income tax. Now, DTC, I don't find much of the time. Now, today we are talking about in the month of November. Wait for 4 months. DTC is going to see the light. It is going to be effective from 1st April 2015. And accountants are going to be there, including cost accountants. And therefore, we need to ask the question ourselves, what we are talking about, whether the cost audit rules will come or not. It is the way it is going to come, but may not be in the same way in the 2011. But whether that is the end, rather if one end is less, your number of openings, have you prepared for that? How many of us are acquainted with the provisions? How many acquainted with us that we become the strategic consultant even in the income tax, and to say that this provision is there, you can get the income tax holiday for 10 years, income tax holiday of this year. If you take a biotechnology, whether your product now you are in Surat, Ankleshwar areas, where number of products which you are manufacturing the chemicals, even a lot of biotechnology products are there. If you make a biotechnology product and if you make a biotechnology park and all, even the section line or investment in land, you are entitled for 10-year tax holiday. Are we going to work on that? Are we going to be a strategic consultant on that? Are we going to be competent enough to do the cost audit, tax audit when it is going to come from 1st April 2005? GST, perhaps you might have seen in the 2 years, 3-4 days back, State Finance Minister's meeting was there, and one thing was very clearly mentioned there. What is going to be CGST rate and what is going to be SGST rate? So one thing is very clear, the second draft which was published for the GST, in the same form perhaps it is going to come. Rate of CGST and rate of SGST was also noted. Now only the question comes in the winter session, there is going to be a constitutional amendment which they are going to put it. Are you prepared if you are associated with any companies, whether in the corporate sector or otherwise? Have you analyzed in the GST in the form of a draft 2 which has been put on the website for the GST, how I am going to map my transaction? How I am going to map my transaction with respect to my ERP? How I am going to do my tax planning? Because GST is going to be on the consumption base. Let's say I am sitting in the Maharashtra, my corporate office in Maharashtra enters in the order in the Delhi, directly supplies the goods to Delhi and to Assam for erection and commissioning. Then I have the billing from Mumbai. Delhi is charging me on the transit sales, they will be charging me. And tax is charged by the Delhi government and Assam government is going to consume that. So money, what is collected by Delhi government has to go to the Assam government. So all that clearing will take place over state clearing is a mechanism. How far we are equipped to that? How far those transactions were mapped to that? Now GST is going to come. Perhaps I will tell you, you can be a good GST consultant from 2015 itself. No sooner winter session, constitutional amendment is made, third draft is also put on the website to start consulting your for clients or in companies. These are my transactions today happening in the present way in GST. What will be the impact? How I can make my smooth transition over my today's practice, today's VAT practice or today's my excise practice, today's my service tax practice, than that of in the GST area. Perhaps this is the consultancy area, you will get it. You are associated with all the transactions of the company. When you are associated with all transactions of company, when you are associated with that, you are well aware of the transactions and you are well aware of the cost mechanics. Perhaps cost accountant having the costing eyes, he can be a good management consultant along with GST implementer. Perhaps these are the opportunities. No end of learning. Remember, ego minus 1 divided by knowledge. Ego is equal to 1 divided by knowledge. Why should I have ego? Knowledge is going to be a power of tomorrow. Enhanced networking capabilities. Sometimes you know what happens, we see our co-brothers as, oh, he will snatch my business. Perhaps have the networking, you will grow business, you win, I win. Win-win capabilities. Do not hesitate to obtain expert opinion when lack of clarity. Even today, when complex issues comes, we are in the practitioners, we do discuss even these are the complex issues, how we tackle it. Ultimately, your object is to provide the ultimate solution to your client, and client believes you more. So it's always better if you are in the doubt, get it clarified so that your client is not subjected to your to a dual mind. Objective should be zero tolerance on non-compliances. Now gone are the days non-compliance will be tolerated, it will not be noted. Now when Modi ji is talking about labor law is also one registration, simplification has been made, but the responsibility has been casted on you that there is no exploitation. Payment is made, payment of wages in 7 days, payment of wages and minimum wages act is also been done, workman compensation is in place, and all the regulatory forms you do pay in. So when the single mechanism will be there, you are always and all will be connected with the online mechanism. Kindly note that you will be on the continuous observation, not on the inspector's observation. That is going to be changed. Go by the spirit of the law rather than letter of the law. Enhancing transparency and quality of discourses, whatever you give, whether the legal opinion, whether the conversation or whether your interaction with your client. And compliance service is no longer checkbox approach. It's not only I will check and vouch. Gone are the days of checking and vouching. It's only the analysis and interpretation. And I'll end with this slide of the internal audit. Only though my total 47 slides are there, but I'm now, if I continue after this slide, then perhaps he will take out this and start talking on IFRS. So, sir, last slide please. When we talk on internal auditing, you should have your eyes and ears open. You are, whether you are the investigator, answer is yes, answer is no. You are reporting facts and you are not finding the facts, as our president also told. Are you a watchdog? Answer is yes and answer is no. You are watchdog of the incidences, but you are not watchdog on the figures or transactions. You are going to talk on the systems. You are the watchdog on the systems. You are the watchdog of the transaction monitoring and evaluation thereof. You have to be a consultant all the time, and you have to be a catalyst to ensure that bottom line is improved only because of you. And once bottom line is increased, you are going to be a first person invited by MD, and without negotiation on the first day your retainer fee check is deposited online. With this wish, I really thank organizer to give me an opportunity to share my views on this. And also I appreciate and your patience of listening all what nonsense I have talked. Thank you.
Past president, current president and future president. Right? So now you are hearing the founder chairman, because I was in Surat during 91 to 95 working for Naveen Florin. Working for Naveen Florin, and that time I had come from Nasik actually, and in Nasik you must have heard respected Shri V.S. Date, who was the chairman and I was secretary, and then I changed the job and came to Surat, and I already had the, what do you call it, passion for the chapters. So then within a 1 month's time actually, I took out my car and scooter and started moving from Vapi to Tapi. There were around 70 cost accountants, and no two cost accountants were knowing each other. So I simply took the car and then pulled out everybody from his house, and then we held the first meeting. I still remember those days, January 92 it was. And it was very difficult to get the people for the meeting because they don't know each other. So they said, who is this guy coming from outside? And now, but after that, I got so mixed up with Surat that most of my people know that my native place is actually Surat. So, those days I used to write for Chitralekha Abhiyan in Gujarati, and we tried for getting stock exchange for Surat, and Sarguja Chamber of Commerce was also quite closely associated. And then we started oral coaching. 95, then I was transferred to Mumbai, after which, in fact, many of them know it that I met with a very fatal accident when I would have died actually. And in the Vapi hospital, I think the whole Surat, at least the costing fraternity had gathered. But yes, I think from Adajan to Gopipura to Varacha Road to Udna Road to Gurdud Road, I have at least one house available for myself. Okay, that close friends we have. And I can assure you now that I did a lot of jobs actually. I changed 4 jobs after that. And the last job I did was in London. And after that I got tired. So these are my details. I kept the visiting cards here. But I can see a lot of younger generation here. You can primarily note down my WhatsApp number. And I'm quite active on WhatsApp. I have around 5,000 people on WhatsApp. On Facebook I have around 15,000 people. And most of them are my IFRS students. So you can find out Ram Mohan Bhave and you'll get me on WhatsApp. Even Surat, I have a lot of people. And these are my background qualifications. We had a Limca record. He had already told my introduction. And these are the companies where I work. The last job I did was in 2009 when I got tired because I was in London as the Chief Finance Director of Mittal Group. 3 years I worked there and then got tired. I said enough of it. And primarily there, since we acquired many companies, literally everywhere we had to implement IFRS because European Union adopted IFRS in 2005. After that, when I came back to India, I said it's enough because very frankly in those 3 years I lost all my hairs. So all those who want to get into IFRS, be prepared for losing your hairs. But you will have an international career surely. Typically, and had few years in Reliance also, where we brought that 500 scheme. So that was all making the tele-density to 90 crores now. Right. So I am not going to trouble you much. If you want to see my website and the Guinness Book Record lecture that is here on Consult IFRS. And this is my professional contribution, and thanks to Navalji. Yesterday I pulled out a photograph of ours when both of us were looking young and handsome. That was in Chennai actually. So we were walking around Marina Beach because Nasik chapter had sent both of us sponsored for the national conference in Chennai. And I was wondering actually that who are these 2 young handsome people from that program, right? And then luckily Gopal Krishnan sir, our past president, inaugurated our Guinness Book Record program. That has been submitted. There are 37,000 people attended the lecture, and from Surat our friend Nanti Shah had took a lot of lead and support. So next time when we do, because my next target is 1 lakh people to be taught IFRS at a time for 1 full day. And this we do through video recording. So I am sure I will meet all the people whom I was not knowing before. So it's a pleasure to be here. I have lost the habit to speak in Gujarati. Right. So we'll start with one riddle. Some of you know this, okay, because I don't have 47 slides or double than that, but poor Ashokji, because of me, he had to stop early. But I have just 7 slides. But we are going to, this lecture or whatever discussion you say, is going to be only stories. And I see a lot of bachcha log at the backside. So I am sure they will like stories. But bachcha log have to be asked the quiz. And all of you know, right? Mahatma Gandhi, you know, you may not be knowing. But Bipasha Basu, do you know? Right. So can you tell me what is common between Mahatma Gandhi and Bipasha Basu? And some of you know the answer because they had attended some of the lectures of mine elsewhere. But I will request them to be quiet and leave the question for youngsters to take. So the last few benches or nice rows, will you please answer this question, the quiz? We'll keep aside IFRS for the time being. But right now, what is common between Mahatma Gandhi and Bipasha Basu? Ah, that's right. I thought so. Because Surat is known for brilliant people. And therefore, the immediate answer comes that the commonality between Mahatma Gandhi and Bipasha Basu, that both of them wear lace clothes. Reason being, Mahatma Gandhi wanted to tell Britishers that we are poor and you have looted us. So he could not have gone in suit boot and said, and you must give us freedom. So he wanted to tell about the poverty of this country very transparently. Now Bipasha Basu wanted to tell us that she is beautiful. So the best way to be transparent and show the beauty. So arising out of that transparency to show the poverty and beauty, both of them were wearing lace clothes. And therefore now if you come to what is common between IFRS, Mahatma Gandhi and Bipasha Basu, the commonality is transparency. Now this makes me to this nice debate about what should be with chartered accountants and what should be with cost accountants. And typically I happen to be chartered accountant, cost accountant and company secretaries. So, but you must have seen my love for cost accounting profession because I was involved in 3 chapters actually. Nasik, Surat and then Konkan chapter. And would love to be part of many more chapters, but I am sure Surat, where I like Surat for one more reason, because Surti people eat and I get along with that quality very well actually. Alright? So I am sure you are waiting for going for lunch, but I am in the way. But I will give you IFRS treat in between. Why I feel CMA should take IFRS in their hands. Whatever 7 companies I worked, whether it was an American company in America, Foundation Software, or Mittal Group in London, or Reliance in Navi Mumbai. One thing is that whenever I used to go to, let's say, Mukesh Ambani, he used to say, Mr. Bhave, where are my financial statements? Accounts, signed accounts. So we used to finalize that and discuss that, etc., etc. After some time, he used to say, now can you wear the cost accountant's cap? I said, why? He said, now I want the reality from your MIS. From there I understood that is the MIS is a real accounts, and these published financial statements are by CAs, means creative accountants. Alright, so they are very creatively created. So one time I was a very young innocent cost accountant, and whenever I will hear a lecture of Durga Prasad sir or Naval sir, that time those whosoever were presidents, I used to feel, I think these guys are so much learned. They will say arbitration ऐसा करो, ये ऐसा करो, कब आएगा मुझे भगवान जाने. So then one day my boss called me and he said, do you know what is profits? Any idea what is profits? Anybody? Now this is a simple puzzle, not like the previous one. Yes, anybody please? What is profit? Should we give opportunity to? Yes, madam. These are the equality days, so some girls should answer. What is profit? No girls know. Yes, madam.
Income minus expenses.
Sorry?
Income minus expenses.
Income minus expenditure. Perfect. Now this is what I also learned in my examinations in cost accounting, chartered accounting. But when I joined the industry, over a period of time, now this is a pre-IFRS situation. So then, gradually I was taught with practical experiences that profit is a figure desired by owner, right, and created by chartered accountant. Sorry, created by CFO. Created by CFO.
by CFO, and then I, as usual, gradually got spoiled, like most of the industry accountants get spoiled. Over a period of time, it became a normal thing for the owners to ask. One day, one of the company where I was CFO, owner called me and asked, Mr. Bhave, my marketing department is not able to achieve the target, so our profits are going to go down, so please do something. I simply couldn't understand, if the marketing managers cannot achieve the marketing budgets, what can a CFO do to do something about profits? That is what I told him. So my owner winked at me and he said that, Mr. Bhave, you know and I know what it is. So please ensure that the profits are intact, so the share price will remain intact and my wealth is protected. So all these days, very sorry to say, almost 30, 40 years, 28 years I worked. Everybody used to be talking about how to increase or decrease the profit as per the requirements of owner.